Agentic coding is everywhere right now. Every company, AI and non-AI companies, they're using the word agentic. And every conference you go to, developer conference, business conference, they talk about it. They have a session on it. Every LinkedIn post has a hot take on what agentic coding is, what agentic development, agentic business, agentic this, agentic that, what it really is. And most of them are really out to sell you something. But here's the question nobody really answers for you. What agentic coding really means for you as a developer, as a cloud engineer in 2026 and beyond, whatever time you're watching this video. And this video is not the marketing version that you hear about, this agentic that. No, this is the real version of it, all right? So what really changes in your day? What changes in your pipeline? What changes in your infrastructure code? And how do you really shape code written agentically to the cloud? At the end of this video, what you're really going to take away is that you know where agentic coding helps you, where it bites you, and what steps firmly human in your code base from day to day. Let me define agentic coding before we get started with anything else, so that we have the same base and the same understanding of everything I want to talk about. Because the word is thrown around loosely that it has almost no meaning to anyone. It's lost most of its meaning, if it still has meaning to anyone. Non-agentic AI coding is reactive, right? You ask a question, the AI answer. You still use AI, don't get me wrong, you still use AI, but it is reactive. You ask a question, the AI answers. You ask another question, the AI answers. You do all the work in between. That is non-agentic AI coding. It's essentially autocomplete with a bigger brain. That is what you've been doing. It is suggestion, useful, but it waits on you for every single move. You're still the one driving the conversation line by line, prompt by prompt. Don't get me wrong, that might be good, depending on your scenario. But real agentic coding, this time and beyond, but of course it might change in the future, is a different shape entirely. You give the AI a goal, a target, what it's supposed to achieve. Then it takes actions, reading files, instructions, constraints, analysis, decision files, writing the code, and running, agentic on call now. Then it takes actions, reading your files, markdown files, decision files, HTML files, whatever file you've put into the context for it to be able to decide. Then it decides what to do next, all without you prompting each step of the way. This is the scenario, practically now. I want to write a to-do application and deploy it to Azure end-to-end. I write the product requirement document, I write the decisions I needed to make on my behalf or that I've decided that it's going to be, and I tell it the constraints, the instructions the agent is supposed to use, and all that in files. So I just tell it, this is the goal, these are the files, get to work. This right here, my friends, is the old shift, one line at a time. So autocomplete for you, it answers the question. Agentic coding, on the other hand, pursues one goal. Read that again, or listen to it again. Autocomplete, AI prompting, is coding with AI line by line. Agentic coding pursues a goal. Until that goal is met, it keeps on going, based on the instruction files and every context you've given it. And of course, can steer it in a direction if you realize it's going wrong. Because everything from this video will flow from that. What's really agentic coding? Agentic coding is AI coding towards a goal, towards an outcome. For example, Claude Code in agentic mode, GitHub Copilot in its agent workspaces, Codex CLI. These are all examples of agentic coding right now. The tool will keep on working until the end goal is reached, or until it hits something it cannot resolve without you. You would have put a constraint on, when you need to make something like this and you're not sure, ask me. Then you step in and it continues with the goal. The last part matters more than people think, more than people admit. A good agentic tool knows when to stop and ask questions. A bad workflow lets it run when it should have stopped. And these are some of the things you put into your instruction files. The difference is not the model, Use any model you like, GPT 5.6 Soul, Fable 5, Opus 5, Sonnet 5, Kimi K3, it doesn't matter. The difference is how you set everything up. Now the question is, and I'm focused on Azure here, why should an Azure developer care more than anyone else? Because cloud work, Azure work, it's full of exactly the task agentic coding is good at. The resources you provision, the resources you do not want touching carelessly, you live in that tension every day. Automatic Terraform application in production, why would you want to do that? So you need to give those instructions to those agents to be able to decide and know what not to do. Because what to do is as important as what not to do when it comes to agentic coding. It reads your code base. It can write code. It can run commands. Now, with the right access, it can communicate to your Azure resources directly. Your resource groups, your pipelines, your deployments, your network diagrams, your architecture. It can communicate with all that. This in itself is powerful. It is also a real risk. The same capability that can help you fix a pipeline can spin up resources that you do not want it to, that you do not budget for. The same speed that saves you can be the same speed that kills you or burn your credit card overnight, or maybe during the day, depending on when you set your goals to run. You get what I mean here? So, the same way it is beneficial is the same way it could be detrimental. Read that again. The same way it is beneficial could be the same way it is detrimental. So, before you connect any agentic coding resource, any agentic coding tool to live Azure resources, there are 3 rules. And this is what you should bookmark. This is the part you should watch most in this entire video. 1. Principle of least privilege. Principle of least privilege. What does this mean? It means that the tool gets access to exactly what it needs for the task. Nothing more, nothing less. Scope the service principle that it's using. Scope the assignment, the role assignment. If it only needs to read a resource group, it does not get a contributor access to the subscription on the resource group. Principle number 2, test it in a non-production environment, in a dev environment, in a QA environment. Okay? Never ever, I repeat this, never ever point an agentic tool to your production resources. Let it make mistakes where the mistakes are least costly, where the mistakes are cheap, the cost of the mistakes are cheap. Number 3, review every action before it reaches a live resource, even in dev, because developers are using it, right? Review the access, review what it's doing before it reaches a live resource. Most tools, depending on the workflow you set for it, they plan, then execute. So this should be a workflow. Plan first, get every question answered, then execute. Read the plan line by line because you'll be responsible for the actions your agentic coding tool takes. Then, once you're happy with the plan, sit tight and let it take the reins from there. Once you approve the plan on Autopilot, give it the keys to the test kitchen, not the keys to your bedroom. You get what I mean? Keys to the kitchen, not the bedroom. Well, to production, I mean that. Now, let me walk you through the major areas of Azure development and tell you what actually changes in the scope of agentic coding in the time we're right now, because it's moving really fast, right? What actually happens, all right? And I'm not a salesperson. I'll probably never, ever be a salesperson. So this is not a sales message to you. And some of this is real today, and some of this needs watching closely, right? And for your CI/CD pipelines, agentic coding already has entered this place, right? Claude code can read your pipelines, it can read your deployment, given the right CLI access. It can read your existing resources, it can know what is breaking and what is the bottleneck for your deployment. Copilot in agentic mode, it can scaffold an entire GitHub Actions workflow from your plain description. And most times at the first run, it actually works, and then you refine it from there. Here, the change is speed. Mostly not accuracy, the change is the speed. Example, last weekend I was playing with Circle CI, of recording this video, of course. I was playing with Circle CI. I know what it's supposed to do, so I told it, oh, look at my GitHub workflow files and plan a migration step to Circle CI. And on the first run, I'm able to get CI pipelines a full migration of my GitHub Actions workflow. Of course, I see the GitHub Actions, but then I wanted to test that out. And one Saturday, I was able to set up all the pipelines and projects in Circle CI. CLI access, I did not touch anything except set the right permissions and CLI secrets, my environment variables, and it was pretty much ready to go. So it gives you that speed. YAMLs. Why should you still be manually writing YAMLs in 2026? You don't have to do that. The AI gets that for you. But the truth also is, the AI does not have to get it right every single time. Sometimes it grabs an action version that was deprecated 2-3 years ago, but you reviewing and correcting it is faster than writing from a blank file. You go from author to editor. That is the speed you get. That is the real shift in your role. The second point is infrastructure as code. Bicep, Terraform, Pulumi, Azure ARM. Agentic tools can generate those for you quicker than you can ever write it. Alright? They can read your existing models and extend them, modify them, update them. The quality keeps improving month over month as new models are actually being released. But here's where the stakes really change for you and for the code you write, right? A login bug will cost you an afternoon. An infrastructure as code mistake will cost money in Azure. So it might pick the wrongest KU for you. It might pick a region that you did not want to use. It might pick a storage account and leave it public. A resource left running over the weekend. Those are some of the mistakes it might make. So that is where you set the constraints in your instruction files, in your decision files, what the AI should not do. Okay? And that is why every AI generated code must get a human review before application. Not a scan and say, LGTM looks good to me. No, you should not apply until you have reviewed. The tools draft the infrastructure code. You are still the one to do the sign off on the list. The third one is code generation and refactoring. This is the most mature bit of agentic coding today by a distance. Agentic tools handle multi-file changes reasonably well now. For C# and .NET projects, for JavaScript projects, for PHP, Python projects, they handle the context well enough in this age and time. They can detect a pattern between 20 files and know your working principle while you write your code. They can rename files in one pass, update code in one pass. This is what This is the work that most developers least enjoy. Modifying files, refactoring old code, and the work agentic does best because it will not complain. Okay? The overlap here between your reluctance to modify that code and agentic AI doing the work for you is the whole opportunity it gives you. It gives you your time back to be able to focus on innovation. Let me make that concrete for you because abstract claims really does not help anybody. I've talked about the principles, right? Let me talk about how practically this comes in. I had a task recently that I was supposed to add structured login with application insights to a C# Azure function. And the app, it had a lot of inconsistent manual login scattered all over the place. Some functions logged everything. Some logged nothing. Some logged partially. That was the old approach, right? Read through every function file. Find every login call. Update each one by hand. And match the same pattern everywhere else. 2-3 hours of careful looking through code. The kind of task that drains my day, because who wants to do that in 2026, in 2027, in 2030? The agentic approach on the other hand is that I gave code that task. In your case, might be Codex, might be GitHub Copilot, might be Cursor, might be Open Design or Open Code. I pointed it at the project, the repository itself. I let it read the structure. It found every login call. Then it proposed one consistent pattern and it generated the code changes across the whole project in one go. Within 10 minutes, I was ready to review the code. And my review took just about 30 minutes. It wrote the code in about 10 minutes and I reviewed for about 30 minutes rather than spending 2-3 hours doing the work. I have literally bought back about 1 hour plus time of my time. Few adjustments and everything was done and ready for review. So it means that 3 hours, 2 hours of edits against a 30 minutes review after 10 minutes coding work. That is a huge difference. 40 minutes to 3 hours. There's a huge difference. I could spend that next 2 hours focusing on innovating. And to be honest, this is not art. This is a real task. But notice what stayed mine. The decision on the pattern, the decision on the flow, the decision on the changes, they were still mine. I still had to sign it up because I am still responsible for the code AI writes on my behalf. It is still my name that stamps that PR, that stamps that commit. There's an incident. Right? I still owned the code. I still owned the commit. I still owned everything. But the division of labor was the whole point. It means I could finish tickets faster. Now, that is all true, right? But then, we still need to talk about the bit that agentic coding coverage skips entirely. Teams. Not Microsoft Teams here, all right? Team as in people. When one developer uses agentic tools and the rest don't, you end up with inconsistency, or they use it in different ways. You get inconsistency in the code patterns and everything. AI-assisted code has patterns that differ from handwritten code. And when you review code, you can see it. When you review even looking at the PR summary, you can feel it. You can know that, yes, this was written by an agentic tool. Sometimes that creates friction. Sometimes could even create resentment in the room. The wrong answer right here is to ban AI code review. Is to ban AI in code reviews. That just pushes it on the ground because people will still use it anyways and they will stop telling you they used it. So why not let them tell you, yes, I use it, even encourage it. The right answer, rather than banning AI on your team for writing code and doing reviews with code written by AI, is that you need to now set the standard and apply it to your AI asset output. Set the bar for your shipped code, okay? The standard does not change. Who typed it does not matter. It might as well been an intent, right? Whether it is correct is what matters. Whether AI wrote it is not. That is the team decision you have to make. So you need to have team alignment. I have these conversations explicitly. What tasks are here for agentic generation? And what tasks must stay handwritten? That defines the pattern. And what does reviewing AI-assisted code look like? Okay, what is the process of reviewing that? Does it have to go through manual? You must deploy it, you must test it, you must walk me through it, you must be able to explain it. What is the process around it? Set those guidelines for your team. Right now, what I advise anyone to do is get ahead of it now. Have a quick 5 minutes conversation today with your team, or a recurring argument, conversation every sprint for the next year. You decide. Your choice. Set the pattern for 5 minutes now, or have that head-to-head conversation and argument every single sprint, every single review you do. It is your choice. What do you want to waste your time on? So, where is this all going? You might ask me. A couple of things I am watching closely, right? Even in this era of agentic code, because there's a level of trust and a level of distrust with using AI to write code. The integration between agentic coding tools and Azure DevOps and GitHub Actions and whatever thing we need, it is still maturing. Native agentic coding inside Azure DevOps pipelines. It will change the game. Yes, Azure DevOps is one of those ones that mostly gets the last bit of the thing, but GitHub Actions, it's all agentic from the get-go once GitHub Copilot came in. Imagine an agent that lives in your pipelines. We have tools like that today, right? But they are not so popular yet. Okay? They live in your pipeline, not beside it. Microsoft knows this already. And I'm not trying to diss Microsoft. It's just that it is common. In GitHub, for example, we could say, oh, this issue. I could literally spin up GitHub Copilot inside of that issue to start writing code for it. But in Azure DevOps, it is not the case. We know it is coming. It was announced. The Microsoft build this year in 2026. Okay? The other one is the MCP server. Support for Azure resources. When agentic tools can query your live Azure environment directly for context, instead of guessing the quality, that is awesome. And that is closing fast. It is good today. It will only get better from there. And let me be clear about this before I wrap up this entirely. The fear. Because it is the wrong kind of fear. Agentic coding is not going to replace anyone or any Azure developer. That is a real concern. Yes, I know. Companies are fired developers. They are rehiring now. because they still need that quality that only humans can bring to the table. The tool does not understand your business. It does not know your outage. It does not own the incident when they happen at 2 a.m. in the morning. The real concern about agentic coding is actually simpler than anyone can really think. Developers who learn to work with agentic tools will move faster than developers who don't. That is the decision. That is a simple fact. Developers, engineers who learn to work with agentic tools will move faster than developers who don't. And in 2026, that gap is already visible on real teams. It's not that it's coming. It is here already, and it will only get thinner. The tool, remember, does not own your work. You set the goal, you review the plan, you sign off, and you review the code. The discipline is the job now, more than what it ever was. Own the output, learn the tools, and you're going to be better for it. So here's what I wanted to do next. I've pulled together a full agentic coding workflow guide for Azure developers, and I want you to read through it when you get a chance. The exact setup that I use for agentic coding, right? The least privilege access pattern, the review checklist I run before anything touches the live receipt, before I even send that PR out for review. Everything I just described in a format that you can follow step by step and even apply to your teams. So what I want you to do, if you want it, although if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm going to put the link in the video description and pin comment. But if you're watching this on any other platform, comment workflow, and I'll send you that guide for free. No marketing. I'm not going to send you newsletters. No, I don't do that because I don't even have time for it. And I'm not going to delegate that on agents. Please, not quite yet. So leave in the comments if you're watching this on any other platform, or check the video description and link comments, and I will put the link somewhere there and you can find it. But of course, if you've gained any value whatsoever from this video, from the start to the finish, I know it's a pretty long video because I try to make my videos as long and explanatory as possible. If you've gained any value whatsoever from this video, I want you to do me just one favor. Just one favor. Like this video and subscribe if you have not done so. It helps people like you discover videos just like this one. You are helping the world essentially, and you're helping me also to get traction for the kind of things I do on the channel. Thank you very much in advance for that one. And I guess what I'll do is that I'll see you again in another agentic related video. Stay safe and happy agentification.